Welcome to the Buddhism Guide podcast. I'm Nishi Rabgay, and this episode is called Learning to Love, Work and Live Without Attachment. This podcast is free and independent due to member support, and I would like to thank everyone who supports this show. If you're interested in supporting my work, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Buddhism Guide. And if you'd like to see more of my content, then visit yeshirabgay.com. In this episode, I'll be talking about the Buddhist concept of non-attachment and how we can make it part of our daily lives. So let's begin. We live in a world that teaches us to cling tightly to relationships, to outcomes, to how we think things should be. This clinging creates invisible shackles that turn love into anxiety, work into stress, and daily life into an exhausting struggle for control. But there's another way, one that allows us to engage fully with life while maintaining our inner peace. This is the practice of non-attachment, not as cold detachment, but as wise and compassionate engagement. Think about how we typically approach relationships. When someone we love doesn't respond to a message, our minds often spin stories of rejection or abandonment. We check our phones obsessively, our mood dictated by someone else's actions. This isn't love. It's fear disguised as affection. True non-attachment in relationships means loving someone enough to give them space to be themselves, to make mistakes, to have bad days, without interpreting every action as commentary on our worth. A woman named Elena discovered this when her husband started a new demanding job. Instead of resenting his late nights at work, she used the time to rediscover her own interests. Rather than demanding attention, she created a life that fulfilled her independently. Paradoxically, this made their time together richer because it came from genuine desire rather than obligation. Their relationship became a choice rather than a need, which is the foundation of all healthy connections. This principle applies equally to our professional lives. Consider David, a talented graphic designer who tied his self-worth to every client's reaction. When a project was rejected, he fell into despair. When praised, he rode high. His emotional roller coaster made it hard to do consistent creative work. As he practiced non-attachment, he learned to take pride in his craft regardless of external validation. The work became its own reward, and ironically, clients responded even better to his new calm confidence. With friends and family, non-attachment helps navigate the complex dance of human relationships. It allows us to appreciate people as they are, rather than how we wish they would be. When a parent offers unsolicited advice, we can listen without either blindly obeying or angrily resisting. When a friend cancels plans, we can assume the best rather than the worst. This doesn't mean being a doormat. We still maintain boundaries, but we stop taking everything personally. The practice begins with small, daily awarenesses. Notice when you're gripping too tightly, maybe checking a partner's social media obsessively, or replaying a work conversation endlessly. These are signs of attachment. The moment you notice, you've already begun the work of non-attachment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I control this? Is my worrying helpful? Often, the answer to these questions is no. One powerful method is to consciously practice receiving life's experiences without clinging to them. When something wonderful happens, such as a kind word, a professional success, a beautiful moment, savor it fully, but don't try to mentally grasp it. Imagine it like a leaf floating down a stream. You appreciate its beauty as it passes, but you don't jump in to retrieve it. Similarly, when difficulties come, you acknowledge them without getting all tangled up in them. This approach transforms our experience of time itself. Attached people live either in the future, worrying about what might happen, or the past, regretting what has already occurred. Non-attachment roots us in the present, where life actually happens. A musician friend described how this changed her performances. I used to be so nervous about mistakes that I couldn't enjoy playing. Now, I focus on each note as it comes, and ironically, I play better. The beauty of non-attachment is that it's not about achieving some perfect state. It's a gentle, ongoing practice of noticing when we become hooked by something and kindly unhook ourselves. Some days will do better than others, and that's okay. The point isn't perfection, but increased freedom. The freedom to love without possessiveness, to work without obsession, to live without constant fear of loss. As we cultivate this quality, we discover something remarkable. By letting go of our desperate grip on life, we actually gain more authentic connection and fulfillment. Relationships become more honest because they're based on genuine presence rather than need. Work becomes more meaningful because it's an expression of our values rather than a quest for validation. Each day becomes more vivid because we're actually here to experience it, not lost in mental stories about what should or shouldn't be. This is the great paradox of non-attachment. In releasing our tight hold on how we think life should be, we open ourselves to the richness of what actually is. We discover that love isn't about control, but about presence. That success isn't about certain outcomes, but about sincere effort. And that peace isn't about perfect circumstances, but about how we meet whatever comes. Developing non-attachment is like building any worthwhile skill. It happens through small, consistent practices woven into ordinary moments. The first step is simply noticing when tension arises in your body, such as that tightening in your chest when your partner seems distant, the heat in your face during a work conflict. Instead of immediately reacting, pause. Breathe into the physical sensations. This momentary space between what happens and how you respond becomes a source of true freedom. Keeping a simple gratitude journal can quietly transform your perspective. Each evening, jot down 3 ordinary moments you appreciated, like the warmth of your morning coffee, a colleague's thoughtful gesture, the way sunlight fell across the floor in the afternoon. This practice gently shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present, training your mind in abundance rather than scarcity. Try an experiment. For one full day, act as if you're completely secure in all your relationships. Move through your interactions assuming good intentions, giving people space and maintaining calm. You'll likely discover that many of your habitual worries were projections rather than reality. The colleague you thought upset with you was probably just preoccupied. The friend who didn't reply was likely busy rather than distancing themselves. It's important to distinguish non-attachment from emotional avoidance. True non-attachment means fully feeling your emotions while understanding they don't define you or require immediate action. When sadness comes, let it move through you without either suppressing it or dramatizing it. When joy appears, savor it completely without clinging to it. Be wary of using non-attachment as an excuse for indifference or neglect. Healthy non-attachment still shows up fully. You communicate your needs clearly in relationships, pursue goals with dedication, and engage wholeheartedly with life. The difference lies in doing these things without rigid expectations about how others should respond. Some days you'll navigate challenges with remarkable ease, while other times old patterns will reassert themselves strongly. This isn't failure. It's part of the practice. Each moment of awareness, each conscious choice to respond differently, strengthens your capacity for non-attachment. The paradox reveals itself gradually. By loosening your grip, you actually gain more authentic connection, like appreciating a sunset without needing to own it. We learn to love people without demanding they fill our emptiness, to work with dedication without staking our worth on outcomes. Disappointments still come, but they no longer devastate you. Joys still arrive, and we savor them without the bitter aftertaste of fearing their loss. This practice unfolds in life's ordinary moments, such as when you resist the urge to check your phone compulsively for messages, when you notice yourself rehearsing an argument in your head and consciously letting it go, when you appreciate a good meal without mentally calculating when you'll eat this well again. Each small choice builds your capacity to be fully present with whatever arises. The freedom found through non-attachment isn't about having a perfect, unshakable calm. It's about developing a resilient, compassionate awareness that allows you to meet life as it is without being overwhelmed. You'll find yourself more available for genuine connection, more creative in your work, and more at peace in the quiet moments. Not because circumstances have changed, but because your relationship to them has transformed. So that's it for this episode. I hope you found it of some benefit. And don't forget to check out my website, yeshirabgay.com. Or why not follow me on Instagram at yeshi_rabgay. So, until the next time, bye for now.